Okay, welcome to pardon the interruption from play-by-play sports broadcasting camps here in LA, right outside, right in the UCLA campus building. I don't remember what it's called, but today we're having a debate over whether or not 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy is actually one of the best in the league or merely just a product of the system. Okay, we have Hanwha and Wu arguing in favor of Brock Purdy being a good quarterback, and Declan Nay arguing against it. And what's your take on this?
My take on this is that Brock Purdy is definitely a system quarterback.
Okay, yeah.
The reason I think that is Brock Purdy, the Niners have a stacked offense led by Christian McCaffrey and two absolutely stud wide receivers in Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, and an elite tight end in George Kittle. See, I think anyone could step into that offense and immediately succeed. Jimmy Garoppolo only had one game with Christian McCaffrey, so that's why I think they shipped him out in favor of Brock Purdy. But I think all you have to do to succeed in that offense, either throw checkdowns, you can even try to go down the field. But as long as you keep going like 6-yard checkdowns every single play, that's what Brock Purdy does. You can definitely succeed in that offense. That's what they've been doing. It's working for them, so you got to give Brock Purdy credit, and he's a good quarterback, but he's definitely a product of the system.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Connor here. I watched a lot of Niners games over the last season, and especially with how we saw like the Browns defense and the Vikings defense, shut the Niners offense with him down. And then we saw in the Super Bowl how good Kansas City's defense was. So it really comes down to like the whole cover one scheme that those teams have been using to stop Purdy. And I bring that up because like everybody says that Purdy's the next Brady or Purdy is unbeatable. Well, I hate to break it to you, but he's not unbeatable. He's mortal just like everybody else.
Well, if you think about it, Purdy did lead the league in passer rating and quarterback rating. For those who say he throws checkdowns, he leads the league in air yards per attempt. And as for the Browns and Vikings, Purdy was without Trent Williams for the latter half of the Browns game, which essentially meant he had a very poor O-line, which I guarantee you most quarterbacks cannot succeed without. Like even Patrick Mahomes was not able to do anything against Brady in the Super Bowl without a good O-line. Not to mention, he could have won the game if Jake Moody had actually made that field goal, and he was in the rain, which he historically doesn't play well in, as well as against a very physical defense, including Myles Garrett, who won Defensive Player of the Year. And as for the Vikings, he was playing well until he got concussed on a quarterback sneak in the fourth quarter, and then threw 2 interceptions he likely would not have thrown under when he was healthy. So I think that if you look at how Brock Purdy's pass protection frequently fails him, and he's still able to scramble and make plays like we saw in the NFC Championship, and how in last year's wild card against the Seahawks, he almost made an insane throw to Brandon Ayuk in the back of the end zone, only for Ayuk to drop it. I think he has a lot of potential. I think he's a very good quarterback, despite occasionally being failed by his pass protection.
I mean, and another thing I'll add, like, yeah, he'll make a good throw here and there, but it's very few and far between. Like, I just haven't seen enough of it to convince me that okay, maybe this guy isn't a system quarterback, or maybe this guy is actually good at what he's doing. But until he can make those throws on a more consistent level, I'm sorry, I just can't take him seriously.
Yeah, I agree. Considering what happened in the Browns game whenever Trent Williams got hurt in that second half, just went all downhill from there. I didn't even mention the O-line play from the 49ers, how it's been top 5 consistently throughout the past 2 years with Purdy as quarterback. And we saw what happens without Trent Williams, how the Niners went on a 3-game slide, and how the quarterback play was just not good from Purdy.
Well, another argument would be that Purdy can't play without Deebo Samuel. That's incredibly wrong. He was able to lead a comeback drive against Packers in the divisional round, and in that game he was playing against Rain, which historically doesn't play well in, and yet in that game he was still able to lead a game-winning drive with just over a minute left and secure victory for the 49ers, which is something they have not been able to do with a fourth-quarter comeback drive in 5 years.
Well, it actually wasn't raining at that point in the game. Like, the rain had stopped, but okay.
I mean, if we're talking about rain, I mean, there'd still be a field of mud, which, I mean, you said he doesn't do well in. Both of you have conceded that. So, get back to this. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you get back to what you said?
No, I was saying that the rain had stopped by then.
Okay. So we were unable to reach a consensus on whether or not Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. I guess we'll have to wait till next NFL season or the rest of his career to decide that. Or maybe even years. Maybe even that'll be settled when it's time for the Hall of Fame vote if he gets it.